I'm Connie Tettenborn, and among other things I create mathematical visual poetry in which the visual aspect is the use of color or pictures to supplement or illustrate the meaning of the math expressions, in which operations such as addition, multiplication, or even taking the derivative are performed on words or phrases. As in the first example here. Pink plus orange equal beach ball. Black plus orange equal basketball. Pink times orange equals sunset painting. Black times orange equal monarch butterfly. And pink to the power of orange equal watching the sun set from a mountaintop, while black to the power of orange equals staring at coals in a midnight campfire. That was mathematical expressions of orange. We can see that words can be either variables or constants, as shown here, approaching the derivative as a rate of change. The derivative with respect to green of 1/2 green squared plus snow equals spring. The derivative with respect to red of 4 red cubed plus doubt equal a dozen roses times heartfelt longing, which I equated to love. You can see that snow and doubt are treated as constants which drop out when you take the derivative. And I omitted a couple steps where 4 red cubed, taking the derivative, would be 12 red squared, which I equated to 12 red times red, and substituted a dozen roses times heartfelt longing. In another derivative poem, I also had a play on words and numbers. The derivation of fractions with truth as a variable. The derivative with respect to truth of 1/2 truth squared plus social media times truth equals quote truth end quote plus social media, which equals cherry-picked facts in an echo chamber. Sometimes I use an established equation that relates physical parameters, for example, the radius and the circumference of a circle, as illustrated in this next example. In Life's Flame, I state that flame's adversity plus generations of living equals monument surrounded by rebirth. Now, the circle of life is somewhat of a cliche, and so another way to state that would be the equation for the circumference, 2 pi death equals life, because death is an integral part of life. Now, Kazmaslanka, who some of you know, queried, well, if death is the radius, then what's pi death squared, which would be the area of a circle? And I answered, well, that could be just existence, flat plane, and no motion around. And taking that a step further, one could say that 4/3 pi death cubed would equal eternal life. That's the equation for the volume of a sphere, and you have multiple planes of existence. And death cubed could be the death of the body, the death of the past, you can't go back, and the death of life as you know it. However, there is some stretch equating death with a distance. So perhaps a better example of what Kaz refers to as a paradigm poem would be spark. Voltage divided by resistance equals current. The neuroelectric potential from the primal source divided by societal constraints urging conformity is equal to creative outflow brightening existence. Finally, the last poem I'll go over is based on Einstein's theory of relativity. If g mu gamma equals 8 pi g divided by c to the 4th times t mu gamma, where g mu gamma is Einstein's tensor describing the space-time continuum geometry, g is the gravitational constant, c is the speed of light, and t mu gamma is the energy momentum tensor relating energy and a mass in motion, then the shape of our existence equals 8 pi times the consistent pool of material acquisition divided by the constant approach of light at tunnel's end to the fourth, times the motivating strength of weighty convictions. You can see that each phrase is analogous to the corresponding variable or constant in the equation above. So that's all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good year.